And we do start tonight with breaking news.
In just the last 2 hours, we actually learned the Republican supermajority plans to ban all abortions with very few exceptions.
That's right. We do have live team coverage for you tonight. We've got Sierra and Rachel that have been talking to both Republicans and Democrats.
But we begin with Dustin Grove. He's been taking an in-depth look at this bill since it was first released about 90 minutes ago. Dustin.
Felicia, Anne-Marie, Republican leaders have been very tight-lipped about what this would look like. So this really is the first time we've been able to see what they've been working on these last few weeks. Even Governor Holcomb told me this morning he had not seen the language either. This is the bill right here, 15 pages, and I want to read to you exactly how this is worded on page 1. If passed, abortion would be illegal in Indiana with 3 exceptions. So, unless the abortion is necessary to prevent a substantial permanent impairment of the life of the mother, or the pregnancy was the result of rape or incest. This includes surgical abortions and abortion-inducing drugs. It also explains how it's determined whether the life of the mother is at risk. It says this would have to be a medical judgment based upon the facts known to the physician who is knowledgeable about the treatment possibilities concerning the medical condition involved. So, other than those documented exceptions, this bill would ban abortion in Indiana as of September 1st. Performing one would be considered feticide, which is a level 3 felony. This morning, Governor Holcomb told me he had not seen this bill yet, but said where we start may not be where we end. He said he looks forward to conversations and negotiations throughout the special session next week.
I want to see where we can build consensus and make progress. And so before I start to get into individual ultimatums or this is in or this is out, we've got a few weeks ahead to clarify that.
Lawmakers also said they would budget $50 million for pregnancy support programs, child care, and adoption. We're breaking down that part of it. We're going to have more on that coming up at 5:30. All day, our Sierra Putman has been speaking with members of the Republican supermajority. She's live at the State House tonight with their reaction. And Sierra, there's no doubt a lot of debate and negotiation on this ahead.
And they keep saying that this is a nuanced issue, and if there was any question, we now know that the main issue for this special session will be the abortion issue. Now, opponents say this bill just released by the Republicans is essentially a total ban on abortion in Indiana. But Republicans say this is actually a compromise because there are exceptions, including to protect the life of the mother.
In addition, we recognize that there are heartbreaking cases where, because of violence committed against women and young girls, we have to provide for some additional exception. That's why the legislation we are introducing also provides exceptions in the case of rape and incest, which I believe the majority of Hoosiers accept.
The GOP has been the anti-abortion party for years. Now there's a plan to put that into action. However, everyone in the party is not on the same page. Just last night, Senator Kyle Walker released where he stood on the abortion issue. He supports further restrictions, but still wanted at least first trimester abortion access, with exceptions for victims of rape, incest, and in cases where the life of the mother was in danger or a case of a fatal fetal anomaly. This is what he told me earlier today.
Well, first of all, have you seen this proposed legislation?
I have not.
If it came out and it was pretty much a total ban, would you vote for that?
I would not. In my position, I've tried to be very clear in my position. And so if it is not something that is where I've stated that I am and where I'll continue to be, then I won't be able to vote for it.
So if it's more restrictive than what you outlined, you're not voting on that bill?
That's correct.
Okay.
Now, I also texted Senator Walker shortly after this press conference, and he texted me back that he can't support this bill in its current form. This afternoon, we also learned the schedule starting next week. Lawmakers will meet Monday morning at 11, at least senators. A Senate committee will then take up the abortion bill in the afternoon, and they will also start hearing testimony on the afternoon of Monday. A final vote by the Senate could come as soon as next Friday.
And that's a tight schedule, and a lot of people want to testify on both sides of this issue. We'll see. All right, Sierra, thank you. Indiana Democrats have been criticizing this plan for weeks, even before seeing this bill here. Today, our Rachel Krause spoke with some of them about what's been proposed now that they've actually seen it. She's also live from the State House with their reaction. Good evening, Rachel.
Good evening. Yeah, Indiana Senate Democratic leader Greg Taylor says this is a big step back for women in Indiana. Senator Taylor says the Republicans' proposal only includes exceptions for rape, incest, the health of the mother, and fatal fetal anomalies. And Senator Taylor says this proposal does not fully consider the health of the mother, like their mental health, or when health conditions like cancer would put either the mother or the child's health at risk.
A woman who is on dialysis, who receives a notice from her doctor that, hey, you're pregnant and you're going to have to suspend your dialysis treatment because we can't do it because you're pregnant. We'll have to make a very serious choice on whether or not to have a child.
Taylor is also raising concerns about how these proposed bills will be heard in the special session, saying women will have very little voice in these discussions that will directly impact their bodies.
It intrigues me. It intrigues me that it may take the Senate Democrat caucus to show up in order for us to have a quorum in the Indiana General Assembly come Monday. Please count the number of members that will be here and present.
And while that legislation is still very new to many around Indiana, just released hours ago, Taylor says that Democrats are intending to file amendments to the Republicans' proposed legislation that was outlined earlier today. And he says they also intend to file their own bills on the future of abortion access in the state of Indiana. But with Republicans' supermajority in place, they expect their bills will die in committee. Dustin?
Likely so. All right, Rachel, thank you. We're getting a lot of reaction into the newsroom on this issue. Planned Parenthood is one of the organizations emailing us their response. That came in around 3:45 this afternoon saying, quote, today's unveiling of the Senate's plan to eliminate Hoosiers' access to basic health care confirms our greatest fears. A complete ban on abortion is on its way to Indiana. Indiana legislators' proposed ban would prevent providers from giving legal and safe care. We want to let you know you can read their statement, see the other reaction, and you can read the entire bill for yourself. It's all posted online right now at WTHR.com and on our free news app. We've got more coming up at 5:30. Anne Marie?